Go.
The Constitution of the United People. Article 1. Legislative Branch, the Capital. Section 1. In order to be elected into the House of Representatives, you must have reached the age of 27. Section 2. Representatives are able to serve as many as 3-year terms as necessary until they reach the age of 60. Section 3. The number of representatives depends on the size and ratio of people for each state. Section 4. The Speaker of the House is determined by seniority unless other members disagree upon the Speaker at hand. Section 5. In order to be a member of the Senate, you must have reached the age of 32. Section 6. Individual states vote on each senator, 3 per state. 1 member for each state is appointed to be for war purposes. Section 7. The District of Columbia is able to vote as a state when it comes to having 3 senators. Section 8. Each term for senator is 5 years, and they must be re-elected by their own state. Section 9. Vice President is the leader of the Senate and leads meetings, but is not able to vote if there somehow is a tie between elections. Section 10. Congress must meet once every 4 months to review laws and suggest new laws for the President. Section 11. In order for a law to be passed, both houses in Congress must agree upon the law, and then it must be sent to the President for his signature if he agrees. If he does not agree upon this, he will veto the law, and then it will be sent back to Congress. If 2/3 of the House still want the law to be passed, then the law will still become official over the President's rejection.
Go.
Article 2. Executive Branch, the White House. Section 1. President must be at least 30 years of age. Section 2. The President and Vice President are able to run for 3 4-year terms. Section 4. The President alone chooses members of the Cabinet with overall approval of the Senate. Section 5. The country as a whole votes on whether the President should be impeached or not. At least 2/3 of the votes must be for impeachment. Article 3. Judicial Branch, the Supreme Court. Section 1. Judges must be at least 30 years old to be elected in as a judge and are able to run as many terms as possible as long as they don't exceed the age limit of 70. Section 2. Judges are able to decide what treason is defined as in the country, which is terrorist attacks or murder or attempted murder against anyone in the 3 branches of the government. Reasons for each article. Article 1. In order to have fair laws for each state at an age that the government finds appropriate to be able to justify different laws. Article 2. The President must be of age in order to be certified to run a country along with the other branches of government. Article 3. The Supreme Court judges must be between ages so the country is reassured that their mind is in the right state to judge different crimes among the country and determine their punishment for what they have committed.
Bill of Rights, Amendment 1 states all citizens have the right to freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom of press. Amendment 2 ensures all citizens can vote no matter their race or gender. Amendment 5 states the government cannot take property, papers, or people without proper protocol. Amendment 4 legalizes marijuana for cancer patients and or terminal diseases. Amendment 5 protects citizens from prosecution unless there is proper evidence. Amendment 6 states same-sex couples are allowed to marry under civil law. Amendment 7 guarantees an impartial jury, that the accused can confront witnesses against them, and that the accused must be allowed to have a lawyer. Amendment 8 guarantees that punishments will be justified without cruelty, including no death penalty. Amendment 9 sets a limit on the number of times a president can be elected, 3 4-year terms. Amendment 10 ensures that a citizen must be 18 years or older to vote. Reason 1. No one will be judged or prosecuted for their religion, personal thoughts, or what was written in a public paper or blog. Reason 2 protects people from being racist or sexist against people who want to vote. Reason 3 says that no one in the government will act on their own in situations they deem fit. Reason 4, this will help scientists continue further research in the cure to diseases like cancer. Reason 5, this is so the church cannot judge who is to be married, but the state can. Reason 6, this protects citizens from being held or trialed until they are proven guilty. Reason 7, jury will not be chosen according to biasness. Reason 8, reconsider a death penalty cruelty which will go against our belief. This reason 9 will prevent a dictatorship over the country. Reason 10, by the age of 18 you will have received enough education and understanding of the Constitution that you will be able to vote according to belief in what needs to be done. Go.
The original Constitution was needed because of problems with the Articles of Confederation. The Articles did not raise money and were dependent on the states for money. The government decided that the best thing for the country would be to write a constitution.
In the original Bill of Rights, James Madison made the first 12 amendments in 1789, 10 which became later the current Bill of Rights, to tell the people what rights they have when it comes to the government and living there. The 3 branches of government. Delegates at the Constitutional Convention wanted to divide power within the federal government. They did not want these powers to be controlled by just one man or one group. The delegates were afraid that if a small group received too much power, the United States government will become a dictatorship. To avoid the risk of dictatorship or tyranny, the group divided the new government into 3 parts, or branches: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. Executive branch. Led by the president. The president carries out federal laws and recommends new ones, directs national defense and foreign policies, and performs the ceremonial duties. Powers include directing government, commanding the armed forces, dealing with international powers, acting as chief law enforcement officer, and vetoing laws. Legislative branch. Led by Congress, which includes the House of Representatives and the Senate. The main task of these 2 bodies is to make the laws. Its powers include passing laws, originating spending bills, impeaching officials, and approving treaties. Judicial branch. Led by the Supreme Court. Its powers include interpreting the Constitution, reviewing laws, and deciding cases involving states' rights.